can you explain the differences between 9 ethers, 8 ethers, 7 ethers, and 6 ethers? Thank you. All right, so when we're talking about ethers, right, we're talking about the most, in terms of when you look at everything, you have things that are very dense, solid, and people break it down into three to make it simple, right? So there people will say, like, taking ice, you say ice is in a physical form, and then when you melt the ice, it becomes liquid, and then when you heat the ice, it goes into a vapor or steam. That's just three, but when you look at the number three, you have three levels. So you have three times three basically. So every time we say three, you have to look at, there are three levels to that. And so again, if you watch the 3D to 9D video, it explains this. And in religion, in say Islam, they will call the lower level of the human beings the nas, right? They'll call that nasut. Then the second level, so this is like where, let's say, the physical or the ice. Then the second level, they will call that malakut, the realm of the angels, or where the malaika, the angels, exist. Then the third level, they will say lahut, right? Lahut will be like where they'll say the bosom of Allah, or the highest. In life, this translates into ABC, 1, 2, 3, people, places, and things, morning, noon, and night, breakfast, lunch, and supper. Everything is put into three because of the three-dimensional world to make it simple for people to digest. But now, there are 9 levels. The reason I say 3 times 3 is because to get the highest in terms of the multiplication or the function of mathematics, if you said 3 minus 3, you're going to get what? 0. If you said 3 plus 3, you're going to get 6. If you said 3 divided by 3, you're going to get 1. But if you say 3 times 3, you're going to get 9. So 9 being the highest to multiply, to grow. And so when you're looking at states of existence, 9 will be the highest. And when we say 9, 9 to the 9th power of 9, because it's continuous, and people will refer to this as infinity, because they will say it gets to a point where they can't count anymore, right? So because it just keeps repeating and repeating. So when we're talking about 9 ether, the beings that were seeded on this planet first by those original 9 ether beings, we refer to as the overseers, or Parnatharu, right? Their offspring and their children on the planet, being the Africans or the Nagaru, they are 9 ether. Then you will say, okay, who came next from the 9 ether? Then you look at what we call, so in anthropologist studies now, they will tell you that first stock, the African stock being first, is the Homo habilis or the Homo naledi. Okay, so then you look at the Asian, right? The Dravidian, the Asians, you see that they also have dark skin. People call them black. But the difference between the two, the original Negroids, is the hair, or what is really fur, because only Nagarus have hair, because every race has a unique trait. And for us, that was our woolly hair. That's why in the 60s, you see a lot of people were wearing the afros, and it's kind of coming back. When they say afro, we call it a natural 9 ether, because it curls in the number 9 and it grows out of your hair in the follicles, right? So that would be the Dravidians. But the Dravidians or the Asian, they have 6 ether hair. But then in terms of ether, you have textures of hair. Why is hair important? Because it's your antenna. It's how you receive information, like an aerial from a TV, right? This ties into the Samson story in the Bible and why his hair was so important and so forth, right? So the Dravidians will be like your 7, 8 ethers, right? Then when you hear the word Asian, you're hearing Caucasian comes from the Asian, because now you have the root race, the Nagaru, 9 ether hair, woolly hair. Then you have the Dravidian or the Asian that comes out of the original, but it's still dark skin, just the hair is different. Then and they will be referred to as the Denisovan and the Homo florensis by anthropologists. Then from them you hear the word Caucasian, meaning that the Caucasian is taken from the Asian, and you have 6 ether, which will be referring to the female, because the female has an advantage over the males because she carries the mitochondrial DNA. The male will be 5 ether, okay? And the ethers can go lower as well. So from 1 ether to 9 ether is going up. Going the other direction, you're going from 1 deeper down to 0, as in then -1, -2, going to the lower levels where you have other types of beings that exist, like ghouls and demons and you know, other beings that exist on lower vibrational frequencies, where people get affected by, you know, their nightmares and all kind of stuff. So when you say, can I explain the differences, you have hair textures where you have 9 ether hair, and that could be even within one, or well, we as Nagarus are the only ones with hair, so that within the Nagaru or the Negroid race, there's levels of ether which will go from 9 to 8 to 7 to 6, right? And then in terms of realms, you also have ether. So when you're vibrating on lower vibrations or frequencies, which I was giving you with the 1, 2, 3 ABC or Nasut, Malakut, Lahut, when you're very dense or things are slow in vibration, they're in what we call the physical realm. That's the lowest one, or the material plane, as people will refer to it. So even within the realms, you still have planes. The planes are like levels of vibration. The way I explain it to kind of make it make sense is that you can have colors, right? So again, the colors, you have root colors, which is what the yellow, red and blue, which the mixture of them gives you, the combination of mixtures will give you other colors. But these are called primary colors, again, because they're the 3 foundations. So even when we were talking about the 3 sons of risk, that is the colors, and that's where they come from for the suns that were known in ancient Egypt, where you have, most people are familiar with the 3 positions of the sun. So what they will say, the rising, the zenith, or the middle, and then what they call setting. And then it goes through what they call the underworld. So you have Atum, Atun, Amun, and then Anun will be that when it's going through the underworld. I'm touching on lots of different things, and for people who are familiar with the different aspects of what I'm referring to will see what I'm saying. But in terms of vibrating higher, you're gonna go through the different vibrations or levels. So with a color, for example, you can have a yellow, but there will be millions and millions of variations of yellow, millions and millions of variations of blue, millions and millions of variations of, say, red. So going from 1 to 9, you elevate mentally, physically, spiritually to the different realms based on your being as you grow. All right. So can you explain the differences between 9 ethers, 8 ethers, 7 ethers, and 6 ethers? Yeah, I think I've covered it. Again, join our Telegram group so you can continue the learning if you would like to get more information on the question and so on, all right?